Hello, this is Brenda Green, and I'd like to welcome you to Living in the Go. Today I want to talk to you about cooking, and it might seem like something that everybody knows about, can do, or whatever, but if you look at how much time and effort is spent in getting food for ourselves, there are certainly better ways to do it, and one of the ways is to cook for yourself. That seems to be a lost art these days, but it can really be enjoyable. I love to cook. Everybody doesn't, but you can certainly find a way to incorporate it into your everyday life. So let's take a look. So why do you need to cook? Well, first, it saves you money. If you think about the amount of money that you're spending, and if you're doing budgeting, you know how much you're spending in restaurants and fast food places. It can be pretty costly. If you look at how much you can do in your own kitchen, how much money you can save, it's a nominal amount of money. It's like maybe 10% of what you're spending out in the street. Even if you cooked 2 out of your 3 meals at home, you will still be spending less money and saving big time on your budget. The other reason that you need to cook is because it's healthier for you. If you have weight issues, it's one way of looking at what you eat and controlling it. Maybe it's less salt in your diet, or maybe more fruits and vegetables, but you can certainly cook healthier and keep your weight in check. The other reason is that it saves time and it builds community. Because if you're going out to eat, or even if you're going through the fast food line, that takes much time and energy away from your family. Go home, spend 30 minutes, make a nutritious meal. The other thing is when you cook, if you do have a family, you can all sit down to eat a meal together. You're talking about your day, you're interacting, you're having that quality time when you eat. Also, if you're doing that around the table, phones off, so you can really engage with each other and have that great communication. And the other reason that you can cook is that you can be really creative and try different foods. There are foods that people think, oh, I don't want that, I don't like that. But if you take the time to think how you can make it taste better, then use that creativity to do that. If your kids say they hate vegetables, how can you take those vegetables and make them tasty? How can you maybe blend them up and put them in other foods so they don't know what they're eating? It's all in the perspective. So try new foods. People say, I don't want this, I don't like that. And when I ask them why, well, I've never eaten it, but it doesn't look good. So try it. Now, I'm talking about cooking, and for people who don't know how to cook, this may be foreign territories for you, but try it. Cooking basics, the simple things. Stock your kitchen with the basics. So if you're going to start cooking, you can't just have an empty cupboard or an empty refrigerator. You need the basics, and the basic things could be simple things like eggs, butter, flour, sugar, spices. Try different types of spices to really kick your food up. Good lean meats, chicken, fish, even canned tuna can be a good staple to have. I don't believe in canned soups. I make my own, but chicken stock, certainly you want to have that as a basic. So have the basics in your cabinet so when you want to start, you have all the things you need to be creative. You also want to have the right tools. It's nothing worse than be cooking or trying to cook and you reach for something and you realize I don't have that tool. Something as simple as a vegetable peeler can really help you out in the kitchen. So have the right tools. Also, follow the recipe. You might think, oh, I know what I'm doing, and the food always tastes pretty crappy. It's because you're not following a recipe. And I've been cooking for decades, but every once in a while, I still need a recipe to follow and to get my bearings on what I'm cooking. Do that, especially when you're first starting out. And you want to season as you go. Sometimes people say, oh, the food is bland. Well, I will tell you what's in the recipe is not always the best way in terms of your seasoning. So you want to season as you go. If you cook, let's say, onions, celery, garlic in oil in a pan, put a little salt in there as you're stirring it up and stuff. Then as you add your other ingredients, put more in there. You want to season as you go, and I promise you, you will have an incredible meal. So I do have my beliefs. So again, learn the basics. If you don't know how to boil an egg, there are things out there can help you with that to make the right and the most perfect egg. If you've never poached an egg, you want to try that too. I'll tell you the secret for that is put a little vinegar in the water. You want to cook big meals because if you don't really like cooking, cook a whole lot of food all at once and then you can put it in the refrigerator and eat it for later. But again, cooking is good and it saves you money and you don't have to go out for a meal because you have it right there. Get recipes off YouTube. I have a lot of cookbooks because I've been cooking for years, but when YouTube came out with the different recipes and the steps that you can take for it, I thought it was great. So use YouTube. There are thousands of recipes out there for you to try. You also want to cook for people. If you're a new cook, you need to practice. So apologize to your friends if you're not a great cook, but try simple meals on them and get the feedback from them. Let them tell you what things you need to change. But cook, cook, cook. You also want to make a food budget. You don't want to go out there and spend $200 for a whole lot of food that you're not going to use. So be careful with that. Make sure you have your basics in your pantry and then allocate how much you're going to spend each week so you can have those great, wonderful meals. So thank you for your time and attention. I hope this was helpful for you. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Please hit the notification button and like and share it with your friends. Thank you so much and have a great day.